time when Ukraine is facing one of its most serious corruption scandals since the war began, President Volodymyr Zelensky is simultaneously engaged in high-stakes peace negotiations with the United States. As national focus turns to a possible US-led peace framework and its impact on the war, the domestic corruption crisis surrounding the state nuclear company Energoatom has begun slipping out of the spotlight. Ukraine's anti-corruption agency NABU has charged 8 suspects in a large-scale graft case linked to Energoatom. The alleged ringleader, Timur Mindich, is described as a close associate of the president. Analysts in Kyiv say the sudden emergence of the peace plan reshaped the political conversation across the country. Zelensky has framed the moment as existential, warning that Ukraine risks losing either its dignity or a key partner, a clear reference to the United States. So far, 2 ministers linked to the scandal have been dismissed. However, his chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, and former defense minister Rustem Umerov remain in their posts despite sustained pressure and calls for their removal. Instead of distancing them, Zelensky appointed both Yermak and Umerov to Ukraine's negotiating team for talks with Washington in Switzerland. Ukrainian political analysts say this reflects how his inner circle operates, power concentrated among a small, loyal group he trusts during critical foreign policy moments. Critics argue that bringing them into the negotiations also shields them from internal accountability while sensitive talks with the US are ongoing.
I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree?
Maybe someone from the Brussels bureaucracy, from those countries that pump Ukraine with money, explaining to their taxpayers that they need to suffer. Maybe there are also some beneficiaries. I do not rule out anything.
Russia has sought to amplify this narrative. In a recent interview, Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov suggested that Western military and financial support for Ukraine benefits not just Kyiv, but also political and economic interests within Europe itself. His remarks focus on the possibility that the war economy is rewarding certain elites, while ordinary taxpayers continue shouldering the cost of assistance to Ukraine. At home, Zelensky has also reframed internal political criticism as a risk to national stability. He has accused unnamed domestic actors of allowing Russian influence to penetrate Ukraine's political space, an argument he previously used when pushing through changes that weakened anti-corruption agencies. However, Ukrainian polling data suggests public trust in this argument has declined following earlier controversies around those reforms. For now, analysts assess that the parallel peace process has given Zelensky temporary political breathing space, but they warn this will not last if new revelations emerge from the Energoatom investigation or if Kyiv again interferes with anti-corruption institutions. The president now faces a dual political test, managing international negotiations while containing a corruption crisis that continues to erode his credibility at home.